again, everybody. Welcome back to the Video Game Dungeon. I am Tyler, aka Commander Olrox, and here today I have with me
Cappuccino.
Alright, today is Dungeon Cast Episode 5. We're going to talk about retro gaming, retro consoles, retro games, obviously. We're going to keep it within a certain time frame. You know, obviously the beginning of video games up until probably around Super Nintendo-ish, maybe a little bit of the 32X.
Furthest we're gonna go tonight.
Yeah.
Because that's huge. There's so many consoles. So we can expand on in later episodes for sure.
That is true.
But
throughout the generations of gaming.
Yeah, we're gonna stick to the 8 and 16 bits today.
Yeah, we might veer a little bit into the 32. You never know.
Yeah, might swerve.
Why not? 32 bit. Why not? But yeah. I mean, what was the first video game console you ever played?
First one I remember playing. This is cliche, but it was Super Mario on the SNES, Super Mario World.
But that's classic.
Amazing console, and I was hooked for life after that. Just hooked, man.
A classic can never be a cliche, my friend.
No, I know it's a classic because everyone loves it for all the right reasons.
Now, see, for me, this could be a two-part question. I'm going to ask you the second question. Let's see what you say. What was the first console you ever owned?
I think it was probably, I think my parents had the NES, but I was like 1 or 2 at the time, so I didn't know, but I might have played it once or twice, but the first one I remember playing and owning was the SNES. But the first one I bought for myself was probably way later, like the Xbox 360, I think. What about you?
First console I ever played was the Atari.
Nice.
My cousin had one.
A little jealous of that.
I never had one. I always wanted one, but it was the first video game console I ever played. The first one I ever owned was a Nintendo.
Rad.
And
it's
the
a good
first
one to own.
And like I said, even though cliche too, but first game I played was Mario Duck Hunt Combo. Man, that was the game.
Now, did you have the silver or the orange gun?
I had the orange gun, because that was the original run gun, was the orange one, and then they made the gray.
A lot of those still work, man.
Oh,
good
yeah.
Technology. Thanks, Japan. Thanks,
we love you, Japan. What are some more of your favorite consoles of that era?
Definitely
the
Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis.
I never played the Master System.
Master System was good.
But the cover art for those games is horrible.
It's terrible, but hey, it ain't about the art, it's about the experience, it's about the gameplay to me, the story.
True.
I mean, even though back then the lack or little story there was, back then, I mean, there was hints of stories in games, but it was more so fun factor and sitting down with your friends in the living room. Yeah. Back in the fucking 80s and 90s, like...
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
Or a Master System games and buy it.
Exactly. Try it.
White
buy it.
Background.
Sega!
Cell shaded.
Ooh, drop that classic on you.
As far as like my favorite game from back then, I think it was Maximum Carnage, Spider-Man.
That's a classic.
And I always picked Venom when I was playing that.
Venom's the man.
And whenever I could, because there's the first few levels you have to be Spider-Man. But
I would switch it up.
Yeah.
I love
Spidey. I did eventually, but.
Right below the camera actually is a giant Spider-Man. You can't really see it. Maybe.
Yeah, he's been in our previous episodes.
Yeah, you guys
have
seen
him. He's deaf, dumb, and blind. So.
But he's here. And he supports the Video Game Dungeon, and so should you.
I'm so sad. You should.
Remember that. Spread the word. But yeah, a few of mine. I mean, another good one that I like to point out in that era was the Virtual Boy. A lot of people have a problem with it, with the infrared headaches. I loved it. I thought it was as good, own, innovative Nintendo product.
Yeah, it really was.
It really was.
There was no visuals like that before, like the red and then the black, and it's extreme. It feels like VR.
Technically, it was the first VR, essentially, in the video game world. So
yeah, I mean, if you limit your time, which I know it's sad, but limit time to playing it, it shouldn't kill your.
With that, you got to, because it'll fuck your retinas.
What would you say, like a half hour maybe?
I used to play that motherfucker for 2 hours at a time.
2?
I mean, I wouldn't.
It didn't mess you up back then?
No, man.
If it messed you guys back then, let us know in the comments.
There's a lot of people that have a problem. A lot of people had a problem with it. That's why it was a big thing. That's kind of why Nintendo pulled it and stopped selling it, because it's a liability, it's a risk at that point.
I have just the deck, but not. I don't think I have the stand attached to it anymore.
Or the controller.
Yeah.
Well, the controller was attached.
And there was a power supply, right?
The power supply, you have to run it.
It's probably hidden somewhere in this huge tote I have.
I remember there was Mario Tennis on there. I want to say it was Wario Woods. Yeah, I think it was Wario Woods.
Wario World.
Was it Wario World?
I think so.
It was definitely a Wario game.
Didn't Chris have it?
Yeah. But yeah, one classic of mine. I mean, these are both classic, iconic franchises, at least to me. But when they brought them together, depending on what console you played it on, they got the Sega and then the Super Nintendo version. I played it on the Sega. It was Double Dragon Battletoads, man.
Oh my god.
I fucking love that game.
Love that game too.
I love those franchises. But when they brought them together, it was fucking gold.
Yeah. See, I never played Double Dragon or Battletoads before that, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Those are great games, man.
But
I loved both the franchises when I was younger. I still do, hell.
How would you compare like the arcade Battletoads to that game? Like those were so fun, man. I would dump quarters into those in the arcade.
See, I just only played the console versions of Battletoads. Recently, when they released the Rare Replay Collection, they put the Battletoads arcade on there. That's the first time I played it, yeah.
Oh.
But that's pretty good. I mean, like I said, I played it on the Sega, the original Battletoads, and that game. I mean, at first, it was kind of clunky, but it's a Sega game. I mean, it had a cool little story. There was a hint of a story there. It was fun, enjoyable. I played that game so many times. It was a challenge, It's especially Double Dragon too. Double Dragon's another one that gives you a fucking run for your money. I mean, it's nothing like Contra, but it's up there especially when you're a younger gamer and you're trying to play through a game of that difficulty. I mean,
right. All I can say about that game is I've watched other gameplay videos and I know it's really colorful and I like the villain selection and the boss fights. Boss fights. Yep. And the progression looks cool.
They made a couple Contra games. I thought they were all decent. A lot of people didn't like the later generation, like the PlayStation 2 Contra and all that.
Alien Wars was the shit.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
There's a lot. Like I said, I liked all the Contra games. I never had a problem with them.
Yeah, that's Contra 3 too, if you don't know that right now.
Well, hopefully if you're watching this channel, you know that.
Yeah, Contra 3 Alien Wars. One of the most sought after SNES
Super Nintendo
games still.
Yeah. There's always those games. Like there was a Nintendo game. There was a Flintstones game called.
The movie?
No, it was on the Nintendo. It was like Adventure at Dinosaur Peak or something like that.
How much is that? That was a lot.
The last I checked online, that game was going for $1,500.
What?
Yes, alone, and it didn't even need the box. That was just the cart.
What's so great about it? Just the rarity?
Just the rarity and the fact that everybody liked it, and it just became its own like iconic game. And there probably at the time there wasn't maybe that many out there.
Right.
And the circulation diminishes because if it's a good game, people aren't willing to let it go, and if they do, it's very far and few between. So
right.
That's the thing about a retro collector like myself,
Yeah, it's crazy even seeing some games retain that type of value in the day of eBay, where you can get almost anything.
And that's the thing too. Is there's a lot of people out there that go to stores like Disc Replay, which this makes me fucking angry when people do this. Let us know if it makes you angry as well. They go in, they poach the fucking store. They wait till the good games come in, and the consoles and handhelds, the retro ones at least, and they fucking buy them up for cheap, and they flip them online for double the money. It's like, fuck you. Let a collector, a genuine person that loves this stuff, buy this shit for themselves instead of trying to rape people like me to make a buck for yourself. Get a fucking job, you bum. That's the way that I feel. To each his own. How do you feel about stuff like that?
I mean, I've bought console lots off people for cheap and sold them, but then there's the whole point of bundling stuff together too. You're collecting it all together, and you're getting just a good collection together, and then selling that. As opposed to where you're saying where, people just buy up a bunch of consoles like that real cheap, and they probably check those stores every day.
That's what I'm saying. They poach it. You don't do that. You get stuff here, you get stuff there, you bundle it. That's acceptable.
A hobby.
Exactly, that's acceptable. I'm talking about people that will poach the shit.
Oh yeah,
don't give anybody else a chance.
I was like, oh man, I
No, I know you do that. I wasn't talking about you. I'm talking about the people that poach the shit. That will wait, and as soon as it's all available, they'll just buy it all.
Yeah.
And they'll turn around and flip it.
More than probably triple their money.
That's what I'm saying. They don't give anybody else a chance. At least buy a couple things. Don't buy everything.
Yeah, or this is
I seen
people
it
that
firsthand.
they'll buy it and just mark it up $15 and make a little bit of money, which
That's
okay.
That's fine.
Because you were there at that time and they weren't, and if they weren't, you wouldn't have got the console. So some people don't mind paying the extra 15.
I mean, but on top of the 15 extra, they're charging shipping usually.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm
there's
just saying,
another
like, if you
$10.
bought it at Gibraltar Trade Center or something, like, or a flea market, but
That's-
they bought it from a store, like a resale shop.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you go to places like Gibraltar and lower key video game stores, but if you got a big chain, like when GameStop used to sell retro games, people used to poach the shit up there.
Yeah.
You got Disc Replay, which people are notorious for doing it up there because they know that retro stock comes in, they buy it cheap, they sell it cheap.
Yeah.
You know? Like I said,
so that
I wasn't
you.
including you in on that. You
No,
don't do that shit. You
No,
don't poach fucking stores
No.
and just buy shit up before anyone gets a chance.
No.
Because
I don't even like sniping people at the last second on eBay. I think that's kind of like messed up sometimes. Like you put in your, like when there's 1 second left in the thing, you're boom, you put in that huge bid.
That to me
Sometimes
is unfair.
I feel bad doing that.
But hey, I mean, if you can get it, you can get it though.
Yeah.
Because you're technically
Highest bidder, man. I mean, it's.
That's true. That's true.
The person, it's good for the person. eBay makes more money, somebody like that.
But I mean, that's the thing is, that's all these people do for a living.
Yeah.
I've talked to the guys that do it.
Yeah.
And that's all.
So they'll be ruthless.
That's what I'm saying.
Their living, yeah.
There you go. The ruthless people that do it can go fuck themselves.
So back to like the 1816 thing, like that shows you how sought after all these games after
are.
all these years because they're so awesome. They never lost
Their
much value. I mean, sure you had to buy it 60 or whatever bucks new in retail, but games don't like hold that value used. Like
very rarely.
Very rarely.
But
yeah,
it's
that's
always a retro game though. I mean, obviously the older something is, whether it be video games or whatever else, it's gonna have value and the value grows.
Exactly.
But especially with video games, like a majority of heavy hitting titles from back in the retro days retain or gain value off of itself. I mean, especially most likely being used. I mean, your chances of finding an unopened factory sealed copy of the game nowadays is slim and nil. I mean, they're out there, but they're fucking cash money, you know. But they're out there.
Yes. Well, another subject. What is the worst game you remember playing on? Maybe
any game ever.
Well, Sega or Super Nintendo, between those two.
Now, see me, I'm lenient with video games because I give them all a chance.
Right.
I've never really played a terrible game. I mean, they're out there. Don't get me wrong.
They all have heart because it takes a lot of work to make those things.
It does.
Man.
It takes a lot of work.
All of you guys that make them,
we appreciate
kudos,
you,
and we do appreciate it.
That's right.
Thanks for enriching our lives with us.
Shit, I don't know what I would do without video games. It's a majority.
You know, it's a good place to be.
Oh,
Keeps you out of trouble, I know that.
But if I had to pick my least favorite game for the Sega or Super Nintendo, I would say of any game, partially because I don't like sports, was NBA Jam. Everybody
NBA
loved
Jam,
it.
where it's 2-on-2 the whole game.
I didn't care for it. I don't like sports, so I mean, I tried it because everyone was, "Oh, this game's awesome." I didn't like
garbage.
It. What was your least favorite game on the Sega and Super Nintendo?
Man,
it's a tough one,
difficult. Man. It is hard to even have a bad memory of all these sweet games.
I just genuinely, because I don't like sports, I didn't like NBA Jam, but everyone thought it was amazing.
Between Sega and Super Nintendo.
Yep.
Wow. Probably at the time, Echo the Dolphin, because I didn't know what the hell was going on at the time. I didn't know what to do.
I was like Echo the Dolphin.
I know it's a sweet game now because I like get it, but back then I was like I didn't get it at the time. But it's a more transcendental game, I guess. You know, it's kind of it's really weird. It has to do with alternate dimensions, right? Like you go into warp holes and stuff with the dolphin.
There is a lot going on in Echo the Dolphin, I'll tell you that.
So
there's a lot of exploration
to
the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of strategic fighting. There's a lot of different elements to Echo the Dolphin, but that's one of the reasons why I liked it. Because every time I'd get to somewhere new or go somewhere I'd never been before, it was exciting, it was exhilarating, you know, in that game, because you never know what you're going to run into in the ocean. I mean,
exactly.
I liked Echo the Dolphin, but it was confusing when I was younger, because it was like, what the fuck do I do now? Where do I go now? Like,
That the Spider-Man versus or Arcade's Revenge or something. What was it?
Oh,
that I didn't like that one at all, but
it was okay.
Like I said earlier, I love Maximum Carnage, but like there was a couple poopy Spider-Man games for sure.
Another upper echelon Spider-Man game with Maximum Carnage, Separation Anxiety.
Oh yeah.
Another classic. I love that fucking game, man.
Even as a kid, that's just man.
I always remember being a kid.
Back.
When I was a kid and I played Maximum Carnage, that was the first time that I ever seen the fucking doppelganger. Was in that game, dude.
Oh, he was intimidating too, cause like you can't block half of his punches, so you always got to time your jump away to right, and
he was like the monster version of Spider-Man. Like,
yeah.
It was like taking the hero and turning him into a fucking monster. You're like, what the fuck?
How many arms did he have?
8, I want to say.
And you had to.
Or no, maybe it was 6.
One downfall of Maximum Carnage is you fight the same bosses a little too many times, I think.
Yeah, a lot of repetition.
Made a little more variety with that, you know.
They could have. I mean, but you got, like I said, you got to consider the generation, the game. I mean, they definitely could have put more work into it. Maybe they're under time constraint, you know, trying to get it out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, regardless, it was still a good fucking game. I mean.
Right.
But another one I want to point out, another favorite of mine on the Super Nintendo actually was Spawn. Yeah, I love that game, dude.
I got that now for the Super Nintendo.
I have it. I love that game. It was such a good game. It was a good side scroller.
It was atmospheric as shit for its time.
And the bosses. Definitely. I like the boss battles.
Yeah, I gotta go back.
It just reminded me a lot of the comic, just with the drawing style. It just, you know, the retro feel. I just love the feel of the game. I love the gameplay. It was a good, genuinely good game. But a lot of people hated it. I thought it was great. A lot of people hated on a lot of the Spawn games, like the Spawn Eternal on the PlayStation. I thought that was a good game. I like that game.
What about the PS2 one?
Armageddon?
Armageddon?
I love that game too, man. I own that game, as a matter of fact. Like, I thought it was good. I'm a Spawn fan. Al Simmons is the fucking man.
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane, I mean. But what's one of your favorite Super Nintendo games?
All the Mario. Mario All-Stars, but then there was Kirby All-Stars too, right? Or Superstar?
No, it was Kirby. Yeah, it was Kirby Superstar.
What? Something like that.
Yeah, because I actually have the Super Nintendo bundle that was sold at Target. It was a special edition. I have the box.
Target?
Yeah, and it came with the Super Nintendo, obviously, and then the Kirby game.
What, used?
Yeah, the box.
They had those.
The box is sitting right there, dude. Target exclusive. It was a bundle.
Oh, like years and years ago?
A long time ago, yeah. Back when the game was out.
When it came out. I was gonna say, like, recently?
No, hell no.
I was like, what?
I got lucky on that Super Nintendo, though.
Yeah, anything boxed from those days, too, retain a lot of value because
a
lot of the packaging was, like, pretty poor, you know, like, just flimsy cardboard that's easy to crush, so much got damaged.
Oh, yeah, then the plastic bags and the styrofoam pieces and all that, you lose that stuff over time.
Mm-hmm.
But, and the clincher about that bundle, that Super Nintendo bundle with the Kirby, it was a mini Super Nintendo, bro. It was the second model that they did of the Super Nintendo, because you know the original Super Nintendo was the fucking
the big one. I like that one better.
I did too, but hey, the circumstances, I wasn't passing that up.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
I'm a collector, man, especially when it comes to amazing, epic video games / amazing things.
Mm-hmm. And those consoles, the Super Nintendos, the older, fatter ones, they had the problem with yellowing.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
A lot of that was smoke damage, though, man.
That's true.
Smoke damage will fuck up a video game console color. Another thing is, originally when I was younger, I had the original style Super Nintendo, and I used to get imported games, especially Dragon Ball Z games, and I would play them, and I would have to break the clips off on the inside of the Super Nintendo just so you could play the Super Famicom games on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, you would have to break the clips off?
Yeah, so the cartridges would fit. All you had to do was snap the 2 clips off on the inside, and it would fit. Super Famicom game.
Old school hacking of
that's
ways to play.
You see it in
imported
here first.
Games.
Yeah, but I used to buy a lot of imported games, a lot of Dragon Ball games.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Which one was your favorite? Was it on the Super Nintendo or did it come later, like PlayStation?
As far as Dragon Ball Z game?
Yeah, because I know there's like millions of them.
I mean,
we'll stray outside the 1816 for a second if we have to.
I mean, I loved all of the Dragon Ball games, especially Legacy of Goku and Game Boy Advance.
Oh yeah,
those were classics.
Those are awesome.
But
Great
now,
RPGs.
Overall, I'd have to say my favorite Dragon Ball Z game is Dragon Ball Z Universe, hands down. That's
Universe?
such a sweet game. Xenoverse.
Xenoverse.
Yeah.
The one at the
The
online.
newest one. Yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome. It's fun. It's got a nice little story to it, which they kind of expand on the Dragon Ball Z story or timeline, if you will, and they make their own story, but it involves the original Dragon Ball storyline, which it got twisted by these two enemies. I don't want to give too much away for people that want to play it and haven't played it yet.
So it's like an alternate.
It's its own
timeline.
story.
Okay.
But these enemies
It's
come in
not
and they
canon.
fuck up the storyline. And pretty much Trunks is time patrol, and he's got to go in and stop it. And
That's what he's always known for, being the time traveler guy.
Yeah.
I love
time
Trunks.
travel
He's
Trunks.
awesome.
And then it's kind of cool because you get to make your own character, and you're also a time patroller with Trunks. But that's where the character customization comes in, and it's a great game in depth. It's definitely my favorite Dragon Ball.
Gotta pick that up now that I'm working again.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Oh yeah. What? The music was awesome back then.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
like Sega, Nintendo, or Super Nintendo music better?
I love them all. Like I said, when it comes to video games, I love all video game consoles.
Yeah,
and
Sega.
things, and
Sega had that crunchy kind of like
Yeah.
the
more
guitars
edgy,
kind of
more
sound.
edged, yeah.
And yeah, I would like the differences between the two, but I would love them both.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
I liked all the different subtle changes throughout the different consoles.
Yeah.
But when you talk about game soundtracks, and you talk about specific games, Friday the 13th on the Nintendo, that game was like the fucking bane of my childhood. I have it. I'm gonna go back now as an adult. I'm gonna beat it. But the thing that used to freak me out about that game was the fucking music. That's the only thing that freaked me out is the music was always ominous and just creepy.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously it's
How did
Friday the
that go?
13th. Shit, I'm trying to remember. It's been. It was like. It was just, especially when you go into the fucking cabins and houses and shit.
Yeah. Oh my god. And the random popping up of them.
Jason, there he is. And you're trying to throw rocks at the motherfucker, and it does no good. There's an actual like quest line you have to do to be able to actually finish the fucking game, and like, there's no way if you were to just sit down not knowing anything about it trying to figure that out. You'd have to just. It would take a lot.
Yeah, you gotta watch.
I did try a lot
through
in my
it these
childhood.
days, or
Yeah,
go on game FAQs.
Yep.
Look it up on there or something.
Because there's a definite process you have to do. So.
I
that's
gotta
pretty
give the ultimate props to people that first figure out all those things, like back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day, and then put it up on there for free.
And like
You
I
know,
said, they
that's
had to
wild.
work for that for sure.
Mm.
That's for damn sure. Because
So if any of you guys are watching, thank you.
exactly, we appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you,
Because-
FAQ makers.
A lot of the times, video game companies will make games like that, especially in the RPG genre, obviously.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
they release strategy guides because they want you to buy a strategy guide to be able to figure this shit out. Well, a true gamer like myself, I try not to use strategy guides unless it's like impossible situations, like
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, where you're kind of like, all right.
They made strategy guides back then too.
Oh yeah, dude. There's strategy guides for Super Mario 3. I used to have one for Super Mario 3.
I know you would have to buy a lot of Nintendo Power
Nintendo
magazines
Power
to get some of those.
Classic, man.
But yeah.
Yeah, they would, but these were legitimate. I want to say at the time they were they still Brady games? I know Nintendo used to make a lot of their own, but there was always that publisher that was running them. I want to say it was Brady Games this whole time. There might have been another one. If you know, let me know in the comments below, because I'm pretty sure.
LJN.
Well, that's the game company.
Yeah, they're the
That's the one
worst.
that made Friday the 13th, bro.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Nightmare on Elm Street for the Nintendo.
they also made Maximum
Godzilla.
Carnage. Wow, we
Yeah.
talked about that.
They're
a
actually
little
not
bit
that
today.
bad if you think about it, bro. They
Some,
made a lot of classic
some
games.
of their games though.
Some of their games are trash, but I mean, there's a lot of game companies out there now that may have bad games, but they also have good games at the same time.
Sure, it comes down to bad management sometimes, bad organization.
Oh yeah,
Games
when you
just get
rush
shit
things,
out.
ill prepared, fuck things up, so to
It's not
speak.
about organization and
Yeah.
time constraint.
That's true. That affects a lot of game companies.
Can you tell games were rushed back then? Like you
Oh,
can
yeah.
always tell
Oh, yeah.
now because there's total glitches.
You can tell then,
and
too.
whatever.
There's always you can still catch glitches, like especially glitches in the screen,
Yeah,
like where it would get all distorted and fucked up looking.
yeah, and you know what? No updates back then, so
Nope.
unless you somehow find a way to modulate it yourself.
Yeah, which
Go in
9
there
chances
and
out
solder
of
some
10.
shit.
9 chances
Just
out of
kidding.
10 it wasn't happening.
No.
If you were like me, I was a kid. Like, I mean, I was more worried about playing the games at the time than what was behind the games. Now as I'm an adult and see the process behind making video games, and
Yeah.
so, but
I've always had that thing like just
I've
have
always
to
wanted
have
to.
to make one. You know,
Yep.
have to like be a part of something.
I mean,
The,
like
the
I said,
music, anything,
you know, man,
get published on it.
that I had that ex-partner of mine, me and him, and we had a little crew working on a couple games, man, and he backed out, dude. We were close, man. I made the world map, the stages, the levels. I had everything done for the game. We did voiceovers and twice. He backed out, man.
The data got lost and everything.
I still have it, as a matter of fact. Everything.
Maybe we'll finish it up someday.
But
and then we'll keep you guys.
he might try to
updated
come
on it.
calling. We'll be like, skirt.
Yeah.
But hey, it'll happen one day, right?
Yeah, it's got
Maybe me and you and
with
a
the
couple
love
people
we
will
have
get
for
together,
video
man.
games. Yeah.
Our love for video games, like you said, will
Gets
make
it
it
done.
happen. Exactly. Like I said, me and a group of people, man, we sit down. And you never know what's possible. I mean, even me and you can fucking do it, but like I said,
I have RPG Maker on my.
that's
desktop computer.
that's what I use, man.
Yeah, so I can convert all those files, help with more level design, story, characters,
We
music.
modified it to be able to add in voiceovers, and we were making a Super Nintendo style
Mhm.
RPG.
That's what I like about that game. That's
Classic
that's a good
retro.
subject.
Exactly,
It's a good
which
subject.
ties in with a retro theme,
Yeah,
Retro
even games that come out now are like
retro
They-
based, graphically
made
based,
to look like the Super Nintendo graphics and like a lot of RPGs too.
made to look like consoles from that era,
Yeah.
music included,
Yep.
because the people have
Chiptune.
such a strong nostalgia for this stuff and love for this stuff, like us.
They love to hear it. Just takes them
Exactly, takes them back. It's a blast
back.
in the past.
It's like a glow in the heart.
Exactly. It's a
And
kick in
hear
the
it.
fucking heart. But yeah, we wanna. Anything else you wanna say before we close her
just,
out?
Shout out to MLG Old School Gamer. We'll link him in below. Thanks for having us. Think of the subject. It's an awesome subject to talk about. And check out some more videos on the channel. And we got more coming on the way. So thanks again, guys.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you think, and let everybody know. See you next time.
BGD.
Video Game Dungeon.